Hey y'all, I'm James Wright. Welcome to my shop, and today we're carving a fish. Box elder. It's actually one of my favorites. It is a type of maple. It is a very, very soft maple and incredibly fun to work with. Sometimes you'll actually get it with red flares through it. This one is just the simple white, but it's a nice piece. This actually was left over from a pile that I got from McElcheran years ago. So I'm going to lay out the rough edge and size of what I want this to be, and then I realized, wait, this top bowl, I'm going to make this actually a circle. So we'll pull out the dividers and actually create a circle on there. For the running of the bowl on here, this is really, really dry wood. And though it is soft, it's surprisingly tough. And so I'm actually having to work this a little bit differently than I would with a green wood bowl carving. So I thought I'd try out my new bowl carving gouge. And it would work really well, but it wasn't quite what I was wanting for this. So I figured I would set that aside and do some of the finishing and do most of the roughing out with this massive honking gouge, because you can hear it when I hit it. It goes honk, honk, honk. We're going to rough out most of the bowl on this, and I want to do as much of this as I can while it's in a solid piece. This will make it much easier to shape because I can hold it down. We're going to come in and sharpen and work at it. And I was like, yeah, actually, I want to take this a little bit deeper first, so I'm going to hog off some more with the other gouge. And then, for some reason, I pulled out my set of carving gouges, thinking I needed something a little bit of a smaller angle to come in here. And for some reason, I forgot all about the new bowl gouge that I wanted to play with. And so for some reason, most of this work was done with just simple carving gouges. So you don't need anything big and bulky. You can do it with just simple carving gouges. And I have quite a few videos on carving gouges as well as other videos where I'm actually making other spoon rests or carving other spoons, and you can see that. Now I could come in with a spoon carving knife as well and do a lot of this, but I really like working with gouges, especially when it's mounted on the bench. The gouge is my preferred method. So a lot of this, you're just coming down and shaping the outside edge. Once I get the rim, the size and shape I want, then I'm coming through and removing marks from previous gouges. And so if there's two gouges in between, there's a ridge in the middle. And so I'll come in and gouge out that ridge, and then that creates two other ridges, and I'll do each of those ridges, and just going back and forth until you remove most of the ridges. At this point, I thought, let's take this apart and start working on the outside, because we need to get this done for the video shoot. So I'm doing several of the steps out of sequence right now, because I want to actually get the video out, but most of the time I would end up actually doing all of the bowl carving before taking it out, and I would take it almost down to the finest little bit, so the last bit would just be the card scraper. And so then we want to work on the outside of this with the turning saw. It makes it really quick work, especially in this easy wood. A lot of this I'm going to be doing with the spoke shave. You got to make sure you're going with the grain. So in some parts you're pulling towards you, and some you're pushing away from you, and you're always rounding it over. And some of it I'll be using a flat bottom spoke shave, and some of it I'll use a round bottom spoke shave. And then once I get that close, then I'm going to come with the card scraper and really smooth it down. And I'm not going to take it to its final depth here. I'm just getting it to a smooth surface so I can start doing some of the carving on the actual surface itself. For the last little detail on some of these, especially on the big round sections, I love coming in with a file. It gives you a beautiful, clean transition, and because you can roll it up and over one side, you can get a very smooth surface on it. I also want to put a large chamfer on the bottom of this, and that is the spoke shaver. Really just really shines in this, and we're going to bring that chamfer all the way around from one edge onto the other, switching directions for grain. And then, of course, we're going to be planing here. And, oh, no, I blew out a big chunk. Well, I guess we're going to reshape the tail of this fish a little bit. We'll bring up the tail a little bit to match that. I'm going to bring in a mortising gauge here to put a matching line running all the way around. And I'm going to do a little carving detail in between those. I'll bring in my V-tool carving gouge. This is a 60-degree carving gouge with about a 6 millimeter size. It's a relatively small one. And I'm going to run down those lines and deepen them out. And then I'm going to do a little rope twist in between. And this is one of my favorites. It's really easy. You start going with the line, then halfway you're going 90 degrees to it, and by the other side you're flipping. And so you're just going this little S-curve back and forth and eyeballing their measurement together. I could come through and lay them all out, but I really like that little detail, and it's so easy. Most people can master it pretty quickly. It's one of those fun things that really comes out. Oh, look, here's Melody. She's shooting some footage for my social media. She's my new social media manager. It's fun bringing the kids into the shop and letting them learn alongside you, not just in the woodworking, but also in the actual business of making videos. So you might see some more things coming from here soon. I'm going to grab my collection of card scrapers and really start to detail this. I have different card scrapers for different shapes. Flat ones will come in and do the top surface. And then I have a couple of the French curves that will come in and do the little surfaces inside the bowl. And then I'm going to come in with the sandpaper, not to finish or smooth it, but the sandpaper is really good at pointing out places where you need to do a little more work. Places where there's a ridge, it hits in nicely, and then I'll come back and scrape some more. And then, of course, it's boiled linseed oil. This is homemade boiled linseed oil, so it's basically safe. You could drink it. There's nothing in this other than linseed oil that's been heated up to the temperature at which it starts to polymerize. And I've got videos on doing that. But I really like how this came out. It makes it a great food-safe finish, and I really enjoy it. Something simple to throw on the stove, and hopefully it doesn't get burnt quite as fast as the last one. Lots of fun. So this is the third spoon rest I've made in this house. And if you don't know what a spoon rest is, you put it on your oven so you can set a spoon on it so it's not dripping all over the oven. I made one a couple years ago out of bamboo flooring. It worked great until someone put it through the dishwasher, and then all the glue disappeared and it was no longer a spoon rest. So then I made this one. I really like this one. I've had this one for about 4 years now, but it got a little too close to the burner, and things got interesting. So I wanted to make another one, but I wanted to make one bigger because this one was good, but it wasn't quite big enough. And so I really like this one. It's about 4.5 inches in the bowl size, and it is, I'm really looking forward to using this. So yes, with spoon rest. It is a really fun little project because it's like making a spoon, except for it doesn't have to be completely organic because it's to sit flat, and you can have some fun putting other details on it. This one is made out of box elder, and it's a nice simple wood, easy to carve, and I liked having that because it's a good experiment for trying new things. And you can see I was playing with different tools, trying different experiments, and seeing what I liked, because this doesn't have to be perfect, and it's not. There's a lot of little imperfections in it because I want it to be that way. I want it to be something that I get a chance to experiment with it. That's what I have the most fun with in the shop, is experimenting, playing around, trying new things, and seeing what I like. And when I get something like this where it really doesn't matter because it's my own tool, I get to play around and have some fun. And I really enjoy that. Hope you did as well. If you have any questions, thoughts, ideas, snide remarks, things I could have done better, let me know those down below. I do read through all of them, and I do learn things from that from time to time, so thank you. If you do have ideas, throw them down there, and that does help out the channel. Anytime you like, comment, share, subscribe, or even hit the thank you button, you are helping us out. Any engagement like that helps this channel grow, helps us get in front of more people, and really means a lot. If you want to go even farther, though, if you really want to be a big help to the channel, all of these people over here, those are some of the patrons on Patreon. And patrons and members of the channel, they are some of the most amazing, wonderful, beautiful, benevolent, and gorgeous people ever to exist. So if you want to be one of those people, then think about becoming a patron or member and joining the channel and helping us out. Because without you guys, we wouldn't be here. I think that'll do it for now. And until next time, have a wonderful day. Nice thing about this project is it's a very quiet project. It's silent, like a fish.